recorded all the videos and I've airdropped them to my MacBook, or in this case, in this one, I actually took this video using QuickTime and did a screen recording. Once I have all the videos onto my MacBook, I wouldn't at that point have any of these green sections. Those are all voiceovers. To get them into iMovie from your computer, you just do this downward arrow and then you just go find them. Next, this video actually, when it came in, it was down, I dropped it on over here. So one of the first things that I think is important is if you want to have like picture-in-picture or split screen or any of those choices, you have to lay one of your videos on top of the other in iMovie like that. And then you're going to get these squares or rectangle boxes up here. You can do cutaway, you can do green, blue screen. I don't use that one. I've done split screen sometimes, but typically I use picture-in-picture. So let me kind of show you what that looks like then. Then there I am. And I think with this video, I actually centered myself. I made myself a little bit bigger, and I kind of guessed about where the writing would be. And then this was a separate video that I had made where I just wrote in a normal speed the question or the prompt. And then you can see the little rabbit. What happened was I made this one faster. So what you'll do is if you double click on a clip, and sometimes if you want to go to the settings and make it bigger, you can see that I have hide speed editor, but to make it show up, you double click and hit show speed editor. And this way you can grab this and make it faster or slower. This clip could have been maybe even minutes long that I made down into just 49 seconds. The other thing is I had audio playing, but I just took it out. So I just grab that and I take that audio out because I only want the audio. It's probably that was probably the sound of me writing with the pen. And I take that out, or any background noises in my house, like my dog or something, or my kids. So when I put these two together, you can see what happens.
Solution stoichiometry is where one or more of the reactants...
All right, and then what you'll want to do is I kept the audio. This was from my MacBook using QuickTime. I don't have a separate camera yet for my MacBook. So I kept it at 100, and I thought that was fine for the sound. And then I put a title on it, so that's just one of all these different choices for titles, and it's just what you kind of like for that video. These are just little transitions, and I almost always use cross dissolve or cross blur, sometimes fade to black or white at the beginning or end of a video. I don't have an outro or intro, so I don't worry about that. Next, you can see that these little lab footage videos, there's a lot of noise going on in the background. This is probably my own 3 kids or my dog, and I just take that out, and I knew that at the time. So when I was doing this lab portion right here, I knew I wasn't going to keep the sound.
So here's the experiment.
And what I did was I did a voiceover. So this green section was me using this little microphone and then hitting record and then just saying what I would have wanted to say while I was doing the video, but I thought it's a lot easier just to do the lab portion and then do a voiceover on top, especially like I said, if you have a busy house or even your school, you're worried about the bell ringing, you want to take that out. And I did that for quite a while with all of these. You can see this clip I didn't do anything to. I didn't speed it up or slow it down, just left it.
Exactly 40.0. So
and this isn't typical. Usually I don't do a voiceover between 2 clips, but it worked that one time. They're usually around 10 to 20 seconds at most. A lot of these other clips, you can see I just did the lab at a normal speed, but then I just sped it up using the speed editor. The other thing is then this was me using my ring light and my camera holder that's from above. And again, this clip was clean. I used everything from start to finish, and I used the iPhone sound. And what's interesting for me is my iPhone has a really good microphone. So to match all the volumes, I'll put headphones on when I kind of edit this at the end. And I really listen to see if all of my voice volume is all the same. So in this case, I took this one down to 50% because I was kind of too loud for my iPhone comparatively. So let me go back here and show you. And then that's kind of just where that part ended. Oh, and I did another, actually I lied, I did another little extra experiment here. And then I did another recording where I did a percent error at the end. And again, you can see I took that down to 56. So again, these were all separate clips. Sometimes they're not even on the same day. And then that day I took it down to 56. So maybe it wasn't as close to my iPhone that day. And then again, this is just a transition on the way out. So again, you've got speed editor. You can make things faster or slower. I'm going to go back to here. You can do a voiceover. I really like this where you can do a picture-in-picture. And again, take the sound out of one of them. Just kind of pull up and lay it on the top of there. And then what I do next is I just then go to YouTube from here up in the corner, and then I just load it onto YouTube from there. I put a title in. A lot of times I don't do a description because it takes a while to load. So here you can see that I didn't actually put in a description. I went to YouTube and then did a whole title, title and description from there. I try to keep it at 1080p. I put education and it is public from right away, and I just hit next and off I go. So that would go on to the YouTube portion. Then after that would be the Edpuzzle.